Good morning. Good morning, it's Ricky here from DataBasics. Now then, I'm just going through some of the basics. We've still got some people logging in, so I'm just going to start the housekeeping first. Now then, as an audio check, everybody, I'm going to send out a message here. All right, so I've sent out a chat message to see that you can all hear me. If anybody's not hearing me, please raise your hand or send back a question. Nige, you can hear me, that's good. Just always like to make sure the audio is working. Great. Okay. All right, now then, and we're currently looking at the blog over here. We're going to today's topic. So it is today is Tuesday, the 16th of May, 2017. Welcome to DataBasics' fourth webinar of the year. I was just going to quickly review what the previous three webinars have been. Just scrolling down our webinar list here, our blog listing. So Dan, for the fast-moving consumer good, we did this in March. The sequence in the blog and the sequence of the webinar is not in line, but we did the Dan for FMCG and webinar. It was really successful. Had a lot of people coming along for that. Very important for lots of our users. We're seeing more people with Flight in the retail and in FMCG or other related marketplaces getting involved, so that's really good. Then in the month before, in February, we did What's New in Flight LHR for the London Heathrow release. So that was the first release of or update for Flight of 2017. Then over here, Arez did a demo webinar for, this is for the Cumulus users. I don't think from the list anybody's using Cumulus, but this is about our asset request system, DARS, so you can check that out if you like. And today, topic of our webinar, we're going to mainly focus on this top blog here, What's New in Flight CDG, Charles de Gaulle, which is the April release, the second release of 5 for Canto this year in 2017. We will also be having another look at these direct URLs of images and videos. It was mentioned in the LHR release in February and in the webinar. Now then, since then, and working with a lot of customers, a lot of people currently using Flight or people looking and evaluating Flight, this use of direct URLs is really fabulous stuff. You can pretty much, see Flight as being directly integrated into any CMS, e-commerce system, your social media, out of the box with this feature, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that. I'm going to start over here in Flight CDG. So again, I seem to have pretty much everybody on board. Everybody seems to be able to hear me and see me okay. So we're going to get straight involved, of course. Everybody will get an email with a link to this webinar as well, so you'll be able to have a look at any recordings. Now then, as usual, I can see quite a few people have attended previous webinars. You just toss me an answer as we go along. I can keep an eye on the questions. If they're relevant, I will answer them straight away, or I'll come back to them later. I do hope to finish in around about 30 to 40 minutes and then have any extra questions at the end. Okay, there are a few people who are new to Flight here. I won't be taking you through Flight from the beginning. If you do want to see such a webinar, let me know. It's probably time that we actually did a how to use Flight from scratch type of webinar. I'll punt that up to Andre, our social media and webinar person, as an idea, and maybe we should do that soon. So, but if you are new to Flight and you'd like to see a general, coming really from the basic point of usage of Flight, do let us know and we can run that for you separately. Okay, so we're going to mainly be focusing here on the new features in Flight CDG. All right, okay, all right, I can see. Right, okay, yep, Dean, we'll take that on board and I'll talk to Entra. Maybe we'll run that today's May. Maybe we can pop another one in for June. I should say the next webinar we'll probably do. It's one of the ones generically on digital asset management, is the top reasons to have a digital asset management solution. You know, you might be used to our 10 most popular mistakes in digital asset management webinar and blog, which is very popular. We're thinking of turning that around and looking at the 10 things about any digital asset management system that people really like. So I'll queue that up, and we'll look at doing a let's do Flight from the Basics. I might get one of the new guys, Daniel or Jack, to do that. They're dealing these days with all of the new people and existing customers coming along and looking at Flight. Okay then, so CDG, Charles de Gaulle, Canto kicked this one out in April, second of 5 releases for the year. And the first big feature here is smart tags. Okay then, so first of all, a note. If your hosting is in Australia, you don't get smart tags straight away. It will come in a very short period of time. It is based upon the Amazon recognition engine. Currently, Amazon isn't hosting that in Australia. Canto is working with Amazon to have it hosted in Australia soon. Anybody with a Australia-based flight storage will get this feature, we hope, in a very short period of time. But we've found this so exciting. We've got lots of users using the US storage. If the real big reasons to be using the Australian storage is for governance reasons, you want all of your content kept in Australia, that's number one. And for some of our users, we've got some specialist users doing large video stuff. And then, yes, the video stuff, because we're moving lots of data, does work better if it's stored locally. But really, if you're mainly doing with images and you've got low to medium level of usage of video and you don't need the governance, working with the US storage is fine. Good, yeah, yes. Okay, and so now then, our demo site runs in and out of America, and so we can demonstrate this feature to you. So what is smart tags all about? So I'm just swapping over to Flight here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a bunch of assets. I've got them sorted over here in my collections here, and my smart tag examples over here. I'll just select that. Right. Now, if the screen update isn't running fast enough, please do let me know. We recently had an upgrade into dual NBN line, so it should be running really quick, but just pop me a question or let me know if you want me to slow down. So this is some content I did. I really picked these assets because I think they're showing up smart tags really well. So if I just click on an asset here, you can see down here on the right-hand side, we can look at smart tags, and you can see that we've got a list of 8 smart tags. These happened automatically. That's the point of smart tags. They come out of the Amazon recognition engine. All I did with these assets, this whole bracket of assets here, is I just uploaded them into Flight. I did nothing more. I didn't enter any of this at all. It's all searchable, right? So it's a part of your standard tag field. It just appears in a separate little area for smart tags. And as you can see, as we look at the image, so that one in the background there, you can see it's a ship crashing through waves. And Amazon can give us things like battleship, ship, water, tsunami, sea, sea waves, vessel, destroyer, cruiser, maybe. Now then, of course, with smart tags, you can edit them. I'm logged in as an administrator, so if I didn't want this to be a cruiser or a destroyer, I could just click on the cross symbol there and remove it. But otherwise, this is free metadata, which is what people have been asking for ages. So simply what that means, I can come up here and I can search for dog. And I get some doggy photos over here. Right, I've got dog. I didn't enter dog. I get dog automatically. I can look for sea, and I'll get some over here. And you can see it's this one. And some of these other ones got smart tags as well. This one here. This will be another one with smart tags in it. Right? And yeah, so for those people who want to minimize the amount of time that you spend entering metadata, smart tags is fabulous. Canto has included smart tags in the product at no extra cost. So all you do is you go over here into your settings. You can see in your configuration options, we've got smart tags. You just make sure that it is turned on. You choose your level of confidence. So we've got the default settings. If you want to be very precise, you would make that number higher. Something like, from my reading of Amazon recognition, something like 70%, and you're really going to be pushing Amazon to give you very precisely accurate tags. And how many tags to get? Maximum of 10. We don't suggest going past that. If you go up to around about 20 or something like that, you'll get a lot of trash, ones that don't really refer to your image. And this is where you can play between the minimum confidence level, maximum number of tags, to make sure that the sort of content you're putting in is going to have the right keywords. Like, say, if you're dealing with repetitive images, and they're very easy to pick, like their trains or their cars, you can probably reduce the confidence level, maybe just have, a shorter number of tags. It's really up to you. And just really what happens then is when you upload a file, you don't really do anything. You just upload it and it ends up with smart tags automatically, and then they become all searchable, which is absolutely fabulous. So that's our first new feature here. Now then, you might say, well, how does Flight know? Well, it's not Flight. This is another big thing about Flight, and for a lot of the people that are new and looking at Flight, we keep on talking about this, that Flight is built using Amazon's web services. This is not stuff that Canto's writing. Amazon has this product called Recognition. You can go and Google it. It is the K rather than the C. And they've got a dirty great big engine that looks at images and actually at the contents of the image, and can come up, suggests smart tags automatically. And that is what Canto's piggybacking on. And it gives you one of the immediate big advantages of Flight. And we're seeing this coming out with people more and more, of why is Flight better than any of the competition? Because it's built on Amazon, Canto is just going to keep on shoveling in all of these Amazon type of content management capabilities like AWS Recognition, and you're just going to get it as part of the product. If somebody else, one of the competition, wanted to write this themselves, it's a major undertaking, and not many people we know in the marketplace have done this at all. So that's first new big feature, smart tags. I can see a few more people still jumping in. That's all right. You will, as said, you will get a recording. So if you missed the first 10 minutes, that's okay. You can get the recording and catch on there. First feature we've just covered off is smart tags, basically metadata for free. All right, next one here, PowerPoint previews. Very simply, if you now go and find any of the presentations, PowerPoint assets that you've got here, see now we've got a range of them. You can find that if you just click on it and you just see here on the thumbnail, there's this magnifying glass. You open up that, and that's opening it up into a high-res viewer. This is currently supported, or has been supported, for PDF files for some time. It's now here for, it remembered the page that I left it at. There's page 1. You can see I can page through this PowerPoint file, and it's using basically the same technology that we have for PDF files. We can zoom in, so we can zoom in here and look further, so now we've got support for high-res viewer and paging through PowerPoint files as well. So that's the second major feature, the PowerPoint preview there. Alrighty, now then, the third feature here, this is one that we have been asked for. It's a very IT type of thing. If you're, a real user, not an IT person, it probably won't mean much to you, but I'm sure you're used to, like when you put in a new password, it says it's got to be 8 characters long or needs uppercase letters and things like that. And we've got many IT organizations during their evaluation of Flight, they say, look, can you implement a password policy? Now, this, of course, applies if you are storing your users in Flight, as opposed to having integration with ADFS, like your corporate AD login system. If you've got ADFS integration, of course, the password policy, all of the passwords are coming out of AD. So this is just purely for if you're using Flight to maintain the passwords. And I haven't really set up anything in here because we've got a whole lot of users and we don't want to disrupt how their passwords work. But I've been doing some Googling on the web. This pretty much covers off what everybody, asks for in ITS. So, if you are a user or a new prospective user and IT asks whether Flight implements a password policy, then yes, it does. Isn't that good? All right, so that's the third new feature, enhanced password policies. All right, the next couple here, and I must admit, with CDG, I think the Daniel and Jack counted something like 20 to 30 small features here. We are featuring the major ones here. There's little bits of improvement. Some could be called, little bug fixes and things like that. So the next bunch down here are looking at more of those, general functional things. And a lot of these have occurred as a response to user requests. So this one down, where is it down? Right, enable, disable, download in private portals. This came from one of our customer requests earlier this year. I know this watermark, add watermark when sharing a feature, when sharing a file has been requested by many people. So it's just showing you how responsive Canto is. We do have that AHA, that's AHA exclamation mark, that you can go in and portal, make suggestions. And we know they do look at that. That's what we do with a lot of the requests that we get from users. We will put it up into AHA for you. And, and then Canto adds more. So let's have a look at this one. So it's pretty simple stuff here. If I want to share this file here, so just go and click on share. And when I go and look at the, oops, I clicked on the download button, get it right, Ricky. When I go and click on the share and go to email here, you can see that I can enable watermark. So when this person then gets a link to download the file, I can place a watermark on it. You might have seen from the LHR release earlier this year that you can now have more than one watermark in Flight. I've got two. I've got a transparent one, and I've got one that's specifically about copyright. So I can choose what watermark I want to go out on this file and then hit the submit button. And then when the user gets that email with the download link, because of course when we're sharing via emails, that's typically to a non-registered Flight user. It will be sent out via email. When they download the file will come out with a watermark on it, which is exactly what we wanted there. Okay, next along here, enable, disable, download in private portals. This is the one that I referred to. It's one of the features that some people asked us to do. Now then, just to show you that, I'm just going to log out of my main portal. I'm going to jump over here onto our main DataBasics site. Now then, a good example of a public portal, if you just go to databasics.com.au, Flight by Canto here, look at online demo. If you go to online demo, this is our portal. We've rebranded it and we've made some changes over here. So you can see now if I pass my cursor over any one of these assets, none of the share or download options are on because we have turned off download for public portals here. So if I select them up here, you can see that we don't have the download options in the top right. Right, so that's simple enough. We have basically removed the ability or can control the ability to download content or not. And how you do that, back into my main admin login, go over here to settings, very simple stuff here. We go into portals, so let's go and have a look at when we created, say, a new publishing portal. Under configuration permissions, it was basically adding this checkbox here to allow download of content from this portal or not. Okay, so we can turn it off at a very basic level. We'll be talking about some of these other features here about whether you allow somebody to get the advanced download options or download the original file. Of course, if we go down to download advanced options, it means that we turn off access to the original file. Okay, now then, getting back over here. Right, next feature along, mandatory fields. Now this has been something people have been asking for a year, and it's a bit damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I do suggest before anybody starts implementing this on their solutions, do be careful. If you start to implement too many barriers to somebody successfully uploading content, you do, have the possibility that you will sort of like push them away from uploading content. Canto first came out with Flight without any mandatory field restrictions because we just wanted it to be simple and easy to use and upload files, guys. No, it's a very simple thing. So settings over here. Now then, there's been a slight rearrangement. We now have these upload settings. That's new with CDG. And in upload settings, there used to be this add information on upload in the defaults. That's now been pushed to upload settings. And we've got these mandatory fields here. So you can see we've got two. One is setting the approval status, and the other one is that we need to add to an album. Notice, and this is a small feature that haven't appeared in our blog, but we can now restrict the file types. By default, Flight will allow you to upload anything. So a lot of people ask us how many or file formats are we compatible with. We are compatible with everything. What we can do now up here is we can turn some off. So, XCs, JARs, and I don't even know what an MSI will be restricted from uploading into Flight. Now then, what happens then is, if I just go back to the main portal here and just do an upload file and just go and grab something like this file here. When I go to upload, now then we go to the add metadata window. See that now my status is showing a red aster, required field, and when I go down here and look at add to album, also showing a red aster. So I can't, it won't actually apply until I add it to an album and set the status, okay? Now then, a couple of questions have come in. Right, somebody's asked about the upload tags, right? So that is automatically done on upload. So just in case you don't want to have those tags, simple, it is upload tags is smart tags here. You can turn this on and off. If you don't want the feature, just leave it off, right? If you turn it on, then you'll get smart tags according to the number of your settings here. And then as I showed from any one of these assets here, when you go in, you can later look at the smart tags and you can choose to remove individual smart tags, okay? All right, okay, yep, we went through that already. That's okay, just make sure we got through all of that. Good, lovely. Okay then, so that last feature there, mandatory fields and restricted upload types. So yes, we've now got these additional settings here in the upload. Right, now then, this next one here, predefined, now then, this is really smart. I must admit, Canto with Flight are thinking outside of the box a lot. We, with early releases, we had the download presets. We got a lot of feedback about people wanting to be able to create more complex download presets. And we sent through some requests to Canto, and then Canto came out with this. And this is them, I think, really having a deep think about this and looking at all of these requests, looking at what people really wanting to do, and really going out of the box and coming up with something I believe is much better. Okay, so let's take a file. Now I'm going to grab our Eagle PSD. The reason why I do this is, that I can show for a start that we can convert this when I go into advanced options over here. I can take the original, I can convert it to a range of different formats here. Notice because it's a PSD, Illustrator or something like that, I can do JPEG and PNGs. Depending upon the resolution, I can do, this is obviously a lesser resolution file. I can do a 72 DPI. I can say I want to zoom in, that's really good. So I want to zoom in to around about there. All right, now I can then draw a crop box. Now then, when I first draw a crop box, notice I can resize that any way I want, right? Notice the size is being set there, right? Notice the size is based upon the size of the that I've chosen up here. Now then, this is what the feature of talk. Seeing we've got these boxes here, 16:9, 4:3, and 1:1. Now, if I want something in a 4:3 orientation, I just click on 4:3 there. Right? Now, that crop box is fixed proportionally. If I try to change the size, see now I'm changing the size, but I can only keep it, it is constrained to being 4:3. Okay, so I could get that in a 4:3. Okay, so this is, you know, because we had a lot of people saying, oh yeah, but I want to do a download preset in this by that, which happens to be 4:3, or they want to do it for mobile, so they choose 16:9, or they want to do it for like a Facebook image and it's 1:1, you know. And this is where Canto thought about it and said, well, really guys, what you're asking for is the option to have a predetermined ratio at the time of download. So they've come to these download presets there, which I think is really great stuff. Now then, we had a little bit of an experiment with this. So if you want to turn this off, you click on the little cropping symbol there and it goes back to where you were, right? If you then, say, start drawing your square again, see how it's totally flexible, right? So a little bit of a trick here. If you've turned on that preset, if you want to turn it off, like you can jump to one of these others, yes, but if you want that to turn off entirely, click back over here on the cropping symbol and it will turn these off. Deselect them and then you can create your own cropping box, whichever size you want, okay? All right, so that's really good, okay. So that really rounds out, like a lot of people look at the maturity and how much features that Flight is giving you here. So this advanced download, we can now have these predetermined. So these download presets will trim this whole image to 1:1 by a Facebook cover, or a profile image is a different size, I think 1500 by something else. Or we can go and choose final resolution of files. We've got Zoom. We can freeform our crop box, or we can choose a predetermined ratio. That's pretty good. That's pretty good out of the box stuff. So that's really good. Okay. More questions about smart tags. Okay then. Asking what are smart tags and what are not smart tags. Yes, you can, Elise, and you can see the tags field here. I have not entered any tags. So if I wanted to add this crashing, as in crashing through waves, you can see that is in my tags and that is in my smart tags. If you open up the entire metadata window by clicking on the down chevron here, this button there, right? And you go and look at tags here, you can see there's a line, smart tags, these ones. Above the line are the tags that you've entered. Okay, Elise? Is that good, Elise? Right, back to over here. So predetermined ratios for image download. Great, smart thinking out of the box, guys. Right. Next one here, multiple asset download presets. Now, again, this is, so if we do a download here and we go to advanced options, you can see that we can choose our different download options. If we have multiple assets selected by clicking on the little tick in the top right corner and then do our bulk option to download, right? Now then, previously all bulk options gave you a zip. Now you can choose you want a download preset, right? Or you want the original file, and then they will be put into a zip file for you, okay? So that's a bulk option there, so you can have the images converted before they're zipped and they're sent to you. Now this comes back to what I was explaining before with when you go over and look at portal setting over here. So if I just go and create a new portal. If you wanted to have a, it can be private or public portal, you're going to leave download content on. You can then choose that they get to go to the advanced download options, or they just get the original. Right? Original, they just get the original. There's no questions asked. Simpler workflow, maybe you might think. Advanced download options, if we give them the advanced, standard options or the presets, if we give them the presets, can they also get the download original, which will give them also the 72 DPI JPEG PNGs as well. Okay, so you can control extensively what somebody download options in the portals will be, which is really great. And it's all simple and easy to use. Just needs a little bit of experimentation to wrap your head around it, but really this is like 10 minutes. Okay. Yep, great. Thank you very much for letting me know. I'll fix you up there, Elise. That's wonderful. Okay, so that's this one here, multiple asset download presets. Great. Okay then, so I've finished off what's new in CDG, Charles de Gaulle. Now then, I'm now going to go back up. So first of all, if you have questions, you've been asking questions, which is great, just ask any more. Can you add your own crop dimensions? So can you add, right, see how here, right, I've got advanced uploads on, so I can go to this page. Can you add your own? Not yet, at least. Right? But Canto have created basically most of this in last 3 releases. So next release is in July. I don't know what it's called, don't know what's in it, and we can all vote for new features. So that's really good. So maybe, right? But not today. They've given mobile, typical social media, and web size 4:3, and Facebook's social media sizes there. Okay, which is a pretty good shot. So we'll see, Elise. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to just go back up to blogs here. Yep, keep okay, another option here. Yes, Dean. That download bulk option, whenever you get, whether you got to them because you went into your collections and selected a collection, like I went here and I got my smart tag files, and I then get these, right? That bulk download option, it purely applies when I've got multiple selected like this. I could have got to that stage by searching. I could have browsed over here to an album. Whatever then allows you to select on files. You could be saying, well, I want to select all of these. We want to get all in one go. That's all. Then when you do your download, you'll get those bulk download options. Okay. Good. Just keep those questions rolling in. Good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go off to this feature over here, direct URLs. Right. Now then, our marketing person, Ontra's done a great job. This entire blog entry, now she uses WordPress to do this. She put in all of the content. Now, I am not a techie person, but I believe you can do show source or something, and then you can check all of this, and maybe you guys know more about that than I do. But you can look at all of this, and you can see that she's placed all of the images out of Flight. I don't think the screenshots, I think they were done normally, but say these images here, all of these, then down to the video, were all placed using direct URLs out of Flight. Now then, the point here is that with this new direct URL feature, Flight comes pretty much ready to be integrated into your CMS. So imagine the scenario is here, right? You've got in one tab of your web browser, you've got your CMS tool open, right? So maybe imagine just over here, I've got the CMS tool. I want to place an image in there. I swap to Flight, I go and select the image, I want to put this image in there. I just click on the image, I go to the metadata, I see the direct URLs, I want to put the preview image there, I do copy to clipboard, like that. I go back to my CMS tool, and I just paste that URL in there, and they're good to go. Right, that's integration. Now what that will do, if I just open up a tab here, and I just put that URL that I put in there, is that it will then display this image in your website trimmed to that size. Now, I did this with this image. It's probably let me just go here. Let me grab my PSD, right? PSD file. PSD will not go into a website. Preview image, copy to clipboard. I over here. Just replace that up there. Okay, so this is a PSD going straight onto a web page, right? Being converted into a web displayable format, and you can resize it, right? So if I just put that in there, can you guys see up in here in my bar, right? It's got 800 at the end. That's referring to the width of the image. Right? Does everybody see that? Could you just let me know? Usual method. Right? If we just backspace and say, well, I want that in 200. Okay. Now we're getting that image placed in 200. Right? So good. Right, okay. Right, let's get back to those questions, Dean. You asked about uploads here. Now then, this is really how you distribute content, how you're going to use this content here. Right, so just be clear, this is us placing our images from Flight into a CMS, could be an e-commerce system, and this works just as well for social media. Entra's now sharing out most of her social media out of Flight. And why she is doing that, and it's a simple thing, right? In Flight over here, she can manage all of her content. She can create, she's got her own Flight portal that she uses for marketing, and she can set up folders and albums. She does a social media campaign. She can create an album for it. She can put all the images she's going to use in there, and she can find them at any time. She can pluck the direct URL, just like I've been showing you here. She can put it into a social media, and off she goes. Same about creating a web page. You could have, say, on your in how you've created your folders and albums, you could have an album for your website. You could have or just folder for your website, albums for maybe each one of the different pages, and then you could cross-reference your content into those different pages. And so if this is the title page here, we can see the images that we're using on the title page here, and we can go and grab them, right? So you could go through an evaluation process, use your digital asset management solution and the organization that it gives you to help you select the assets that you want to push out into your CMS or your social media system or your e-commerce system. And once you've agreed, you've done your collaboration, then the web designer can just come in here, locate them easy, pluck direct URLs and put them into your web CMS, right? And that is the intention. All right, cool, great, gotcha. Now then, I'll tell you what is the super cool thing about this, right? I'm going to show you videos, which I think is incredibly cool. I'm going to show you something else. Over here, what Canto then did is they add this report. We can go and look at your top direct URLs, right? Unfortunately, we use this one a lot, okay? Now then, if you're using a lot of, if we were looking at Entra's marketing Flight portal, there would be a lot more here and a lot more statistics in reports. Now then, question is, with your CMS, your e-commerce, your social media, how do you get reporting on where you're using your images and content? Good question. When you put it into WordPress, onto e-commerce or social media, do you get any reporting back from there that that image has been used 22 times? Do you? I don't think you do. Not many of them do. But if you do this out of Flight with this report, you do, which is fabulous. Right? Really great stuff. And we're talking out of the box features here. You know, like this is not add-ons or integrations or anything. Now then, okay, then we have talked about, you know, right, the point here, the first point Entra's making is you can take any format. You don't have to take this PSD, have a designer, convert it into a web format of the right size before you place it into a website, right? You just plug the preview URL, you fit in the right size, you put it there, so you save time, right? And you don't create all of these other duplicates that clutter up the place and make your life a mess. And just to get to a web-ready image, right? You can be doing, say, your question, Dean, here, you could have your photographers uploading, you know, like raw camera photographer, CR2s, and, you know, anything that's coming in straight off the cameras, right? Rather than converting it first to a JPEG before you place it. And we've got an example. It is this one down here. This is actually a CR2 from memory. right? Comes straight off a camera, and then you can use that preview URL and it goes straight onto a website. Right? That is stunning, right? Great stuff. Now then, to really make this happen, you can do it with videos. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's go and look at some videos. Let's not use an MP4, which is already web playable. Let's go and pick we've got a couple down here. Right, this one down here. This is an AVI. I don't know if that's web previewable, but this one over here. This is the AVI that Entra has used. Same deal, right? Come over here. Just open up your metadata. Right, copy to clipboard. Right, go and put a page up here. Paste it in there. Okay. Now that video will play. Right? Now, not only is it displaying, this is going to now use the Amazon engine to play, right? So not very long, but see how I can just scrub forward and I can scrub backwards. Not usually very good updates on a remote session, but see great scrubbing capabilities. Videos play fabulous in Flight because it's using the Amazon engine. Okay. I can scrub forward, scrub backwards. I can go to full screen, I can do anything, right? And that is going to play on your website, right? So, point here, right? Not only can you place images, resize images, use any original file format, so you don't have to convert to a web preview. You can do the same for a video. We don't resize videos, we just give you the one format MP4, right? And here you can see Entra's just used some basic HTML wrapper to actually present the player, but then you get all of the benefits of the Amazon video streaming engine, so that video will stream for all. Now, compared to putting that up into YouTube, Vimeo, putting a YouTube, Vimeo link in, right? Well, this is better streaming or playing than YouTube, Vimeo, much better scrubbing. And, you know, like those products try to do some advertising or drive the user away from your page. You don't get any of that, okay? Right. Or out of the box. Great. Okay, guys. 44 minutes. I've gone a couple of minutes. I tend to get excited about this direct URLs. And don't forget, because of course, you can go over here, settings. This is going to tell you this report on top use of direct URLs really is what makes it at the end of the day. Okay, just fabulous stuff. Any more questions? Any more questions? Oh, okay. Okay, very simple. A upload link, right? Okay. So yeah. Dean, what you're asking there is an upload link. That's this one here, right? Upload links. So this is the other way around. What Dean would like is go here and say. Okay, so I'm just doing it here. Right, so we're doing a blog, we're asking a photographer to send that here. I'm just saying, okay, and send it to. Have I got that right? Yep, I can add. Perfect. That's me. Okay. You can add as many people as you like here, right? And hit create button. Okay. And what happens? That email gets sent out, right? That person then will go into their email, see it, click on the email. They'll get a link there that they open up, and that link gives them basically the splash page with branding of Flight, and they can just upload their assets. And you can see here, now this part here is upload links. So as administrator, you can go to this second button here, upload links, and you can see these are all the upload links. I haven't uploaded any over here, but these ones here. And if I want to import them, I can just go here. So first, the content is held in a quarantined area, right? It tells you import file, select, drag, approved assets to desired album. So if I want to then put these ones into something like my genre for documentary here, I'd click that and I would go and put that over there. I've now basically taken that asset across, and I would apply any of the metadata, seeing it's picking up the required fields, And yeah, and that's how a upload link works. Okay, so that feature, upload links, came in last year, wasn't that the end of last year? PHL release, and yes, okay, good. Right, question there is, can anybody create these upload links? Now, this is actually a setting. So an admin can do anything. A contributor over here, can you see over here? They can, down here in advanced permissions, manage upload links. So it can also be your contributors team if you've given them that advanced permission. Right? Now, crew members cannot manage upload links, but if you wanted your crew to be able to upload, when you go and create an upload link, you just put in the email address of your crew members there, right? Now then, say if you wanted to have an upload link for anybody to come into, see how there's an expiration date over here, right? Never, right? Okay. So just choose never. Now then, I could go out to my email and take that link that I just sent myself here from the last example, and I could put that link on maybe our intranet, okay? And then any DataBasics member, I didn't invite them, right? I've just taken the link and we've put it up on a page. Then any DataBasics member can come to that page, click on that link, and start to upload content. This is really the process to invite people. If you didn't want to invite people, if you just wanted to create the link and just circulate it via your intranet, via whatever means, right? You can just email it to yourself and take the link and then use it how you like. Does that answer your question? Yep. So say if you set that up for a photographer and you set it to expire, the photographer could just keep on uploading it for as long as they like. Just put the expiry date there. Right? Okay, yeah, thanks, Nige. Always good to see you. Okay, good. Right. Okay, team. Fabulous. Thank you a lot for all of the questions. I really enjoy this. As said, I did click the recording button. I'm being good at that this year. This will be up onto our, at any time if you want to go and see any of the recordings, you can see Ontra's done a really fabulous thing here that she says, this one here, when you just go into what's Flight there, you can see watch the webinar straight off there, and you can see any of them that have got a recording associated. Ontra's tagging the top left hand of the image. There's a demo available, which is the one that Rez did. So you can see for any of our blogs what ones have recordings associated with, so you can come there anytime. But you guys, because you attended, you will get an email with that information there. Okay, thank you very much. As said, we should be sneaking in another webinar in June about the top 10 features. I will push up to Ontra that we should do an introduction to Flight as another webinar. So we'll put that one together. It's been great to have you all along here this morning. Again, if you want to just contact us, you can see all of the details up here, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, DataBasics, email, call us. We're here to help. Thank you very much. Bye.